It's your girl Jada J. What's up? What's up? Okay, as you guys know, the episode returned last night, and I have to say it was a banging episode. It was a banging episode. I don't know if you guys know this, but the finale, because right after the finale, got sorry, got some peppermint in my mouth. People were not pleased with the finale, so Crystal Fox and a couple of other actors from the show had actually tweeted out that this wasn't the season finale that they had filmed. Like they're not really sure what happened, if edits occurred after the fact, and then this is kind of just what got spliced together. There's also another rumor that the show didn't return like when it was planned. So actually, I guess tonight's episode was supposed to be the season finale. I'm not sure how true that is, but alas, tonight's episode was very good. Very good. There was a lot of dialogue on a little bit, but there were not too many scenes. So this was a reviewer's dream, and it was a banging episode. Okay, so we're just gonna go right in. Didn't take any notes, which could have been a mistake because there was some dialogue. But we're just gonna go right in. I'm so happy to be back. So happy to see you guys, and let's get some comments flowing. Let's have a conversation about it. Okay, so we open up. Remember last season, Veronica pops up at the house. And she's just like, well, I know he didn't give her my house that I took him to, that he said that we couldn't afford it right then and there. So tonight, and she was looking through the glass. Remember that was like the cliffhanger? So tonight we pick up there. She goes and grabs a brick. Everybody, and throws the brick through the window. So glass everywhere. Didn't David and Erica run downstairs? I guess they was doing that thing that grown folks do. And so they come downstairs. David ain't got nothing but some boxers. And Erica, from what we saw, was wearing nothing. She's running down the stairs like this. I'm looking like Erica. If you do not go back upstairs until you are decent, you go and let the man handle that, and you go and get some clothes on. Because you don't know who was down there. So I didn't even understand that part. Anyway, I'm just nitpicking because I don't like her. And you should have had some clothes on. I'm over it. Y'all shouldn't have been doing what y'all was doing. Anyway, so they run on down the stairs. I don't know where that blue silk robe came from, but Erica ended up throwing on this blue silk robe. But David in nothing boxes. Anyway, so he's like, what are you doing here? So she starts going into this whole thing about, this is my house. You bought her a house. You know what? We are not doing this. Y'all, we just gonna ride it out because I'm not about to edit this out. Okay, so hold on. Okay, we're good to go. My bad. So, alright, so she goes into this whole thing about, you bought her a house? You bought her a house, David? You got her living in my house? She was like, this is my house. I took you to come see this house. It's too expensive, Veronica. We can't afford it, Veronica. And you gave her my house? And the whole time he's just like, Veronica, get out of here. Get out of here. Leave, Veronica, leave. You are violating your restraining order. And at one point, he grabs, like, you're trying to just like, you know what I mean? He tries to kind of do that to her. She goes, you're beating me. You're beating me. I could not stand her. But Veronica got hers. She got hers. This episode should have been called Embarrassing Veronica. I'm over it. Because everywhere we turned, she was getting embarrassed. Okay, even by Justin. But anyway, so she was like, I cannot believe that you gave him. And then he finally goes, this is not your house. And little does she freaking know, after you burned the house down, Veronica, David got this house for you. But what did you do? You decided to keep sleeping with Benny, rubbing in his face that you were sleeping with Benny, and be so delusional as to think that he cheated on you with Maggie Day. Which he didn't. He almost did, but out of love for you, he didn't. But F you, David, because you should have never been there with Maggie Day. Anyway, but Veronica was wilding. And in his truck at that. And then she gave the truck away. Gave the truck to Benny. David had to go. Remember, David had to go to Hannah's house to pick up his truck? Anyway. So she was like, this is, I can't believe that you would do this. She was like, you just love to embarrass me, don't you? You just love to embarrass me. He's like, Veronica, get out of here. And he was like, what is wrong with you? She's like, I don't know, David. I'm crazy and I'm sane at the same time. I don't know what's wrong with me. Okay? I don't know. She was like, and this is what you're going to do? You're going to keep embarrassing me? He was like, and then she said something to him like, I will kill you before I let you live like this. He said, are you threatening me? And tried to get up. I said, David, stand back. Because you ain't about it. And she was like, you know me for many years, David. You know that I don't threaten. And he was like, oh yeah. And she was pretty much saying, I got stuff on you after all these years. She said, do you want to trade spots with Jeffrey or you want to be in there with Jeffrey? Because he was like, all I know about you, Veronica, is that you have our son locked up in jail. She goes, you want to ask me what's wrong with me, but you can't see what's wrong with our son? He said, there's nothing wrong with our son. She was like, he likes men. Okay, that's what's wrong with him. He said, Veronica, get out of here. So he finally is just like, you know what? Nothing he's saying is good. He was like, don't come back. And she said, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. He shuts it. She says, please don't walk away from me, David. He goes and shuts the door with that big hole in the middle of the door. And she was like, and then she has her whole monologue. I made you. I made you. I put in all the work. And you think you could just throw me aside for this, HOE? And at one point, Erica actually tries to come out and talk to her. Oh, I ain't scared of her. And David said, get your behind in the house and do it now. We said, Erica, what did you think you doing? She said, because he tells Erica to call the police. She said, the police are on the way. So you need to get up out of here. She said, which? Listen to your lover boy and get back in the house. So, okay. We switch on inside the house. Veronica left her doing whatever she doing. And Erica's like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't do the drama. He was like, and calling her baby and stuff. He's like, oh, baby, I'm sorry. No, I said, David, stop it. Granddad, stop it. And David is my boy, but you're doing a bit much. So she was like, I have glass in my foot. No, she was like, my foot is bleeding. Well, what you seen, there was glass all over the floor. So you didn't think to walk around it or anything like that. You feel what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah, well, I mean, you've been in an abusive relationship before, right? So you're used to this. Because she kind of slipped up and was like, I'm not used to this type of drama. And he was like, wait a minute, but you've been in an abusive relationship. So she kind of had to cover and was like, yeah, but I mean, he wasn't abusive like this. But you know what? I don't know if I want to deal with this. He's like, look, baby, listen, I'm going to take care of it. She was like, well, you should have been taking care of it by now. He's like, listen, I'm just being patient with her. She goes, well, why? Look at her. She's crazy. He said, listen, I just am. She said, do you love her? Which, are you serious? Are you serious? Who asked that question? He's been married to Veronica for how long? They're still not even divorced yet, first of all. So, of course, no matter what David said, David still has love for Veronica, period. He probably always will. That's why she acting a fool right now. First of all, because she loves to control David. Second of all, she don't want to see him with nobody else. At all. But she gonna have to get used to it, apparently. But, so, he calms Erica down. He's like, oh, just let me hold you and all that. So they're hugging. And I think, I keep saying this, and people are saying that they do think Erica's actually starting to have feelings for David, but which it don't matter because you're still going through whatever plan that you have to get over on him. So I'm not feeling that. So now, and I'm not going in order, y'all. Let's switch over to Hannah. So remember last season, or this is the mid-season, so last episode, Hannah got a makeover because she's for her date with Derek David. So the girls that dolled her up, and she comes out, she got the low wig on and the tight pink dress. I was over it. And she said, Benny, how do I look? And he's just looking at his phone. And he's like, Mom, what? She's like, come on, Benny, how do I look? And he looks up and is like, what in the... She says, stop it. How do I look? And she turns. And he was like, Mama, that dress is way too tight. The hair is too much. Where are you going? She's like, He's like, where you think you're going? She said, I have a date. He said, a date with what? She said, stop it. Or have a date. He was like, listen, you don't look like my mama. He was like, what's this? The 70s wig that you wear for Halloween and the tight... I said, are you serious, Betty? Like, he really needed to stop. I mean, the dress was too much. So was the wig. But he was like, mama, this dress is too, because there's a knock on the door. It's Derek, and he goes, this is the. He starts touching her. He's like, this is too long. That's too. She says, stop it, stop it. So Derek comes in, and she's like, oh, come in. He was like, oh my gosh, you look beautiful and all this. She was like, stop it. And he was like, you do, you do. He's like, I'm sorry, I just wasn't expecting that. She goes, well, this is my son. He goes, well, who in the heck are you? I don't know you. And Derek reached out his hand to try and shake his hand. And he was like, where you think you're taking my mama to? She said, stop it. She said, this is my rude son, Benjamin. And so Derek is just trying to be respectful at this point. Because this is another grown man sizing you up. If this was a little 16-year-old boy, he probably could have been, I understand, trying to protect your mama. But Benny's a grown man. And so is he. So when Hannah shut Benny down and said, Benny, because remember last season when Hannah was like, who are you texting? Who are you on that couch texting? He said, can I have my personal business and have my space? So Hannah said, can I have my personal business and have my space? And then he said, well, where are you going? She said, you tell me, I'll tell you. Because she know he going somewhere. So she was like, you tell me, I'll tell you. And she winked at him and then left. And Derek said, okay, like that little nod, like, okay, set. So, shout out to the Jedi, by the way. Oh, shout out to Rosie, y'all. Rosie got to meet Remy off of Queen Sugar. Check out the videos. They're on his page. I might actually post the link in the description. But I don't know how to do that on my phone. Just check out Rosie's channel. They're really good. And Remy, I didn't know he was real funny. I've seen him in other stuff before, but he gave a nice little speech, and from what I saw, and I appreciated it. So check that out, y'all. Shout out to Rosie. And Dorn Provis, check out Dorn. Y'all know Dorn does a killer review on the Habs. Check him out ASAP. So, anyway, Hannah leaves. And Benny's sitting there with an egg on his face. And so he decides to he was like, don't your mama. No, Kim, the girl that styled her, goes, doesn't your mama look nice? And he gonna say, look, y'all need to get yourself and y'all need to get out. Listen, I don't know who's writing for Benny, but he needs to be slapped, stabbed, shot, mugged. Because I don't know where he gets off saying the things that he said. Just shut up, Benny. Because he was like, I gotta go. We know where you was going. So let's switch on over to the jail. Veronica comes to see Jeffrey. And Jeffrey in the little, the holding room, interrogation room, freaking out. Guard, why am I in here? Where's my dad? I want, Veronica comes in. For a second, I thought it was going to be Justin. But it was Veronica. So Veronica comes in. She's like, hello. He gonna say, Mom, like, are you here to get me out? What's going on? She said, well, no, I can't get you out. You're in the system now. He said, well, why would you put me in here if you can't get me out? She was like, I told you. Did you think I was kidding? Do we have to go over this again? Where were you when I told you to come home? He said, I was at the hotel with him. She said, where were you? This got on my nerve because she literally kept asking. I don't know why they wrote that. It was just annoying. So I'm going to minimize it. She said, where were you? And long story short, she was like, he goes, I was there with him. And she said, you were there with her. And he was like, Mom. She was like, say it, Jeffrey. She was like, now, where were you, son? He goes, I was there. He was like, I was at the hotel with her. And she was like, I thought so. And then so he's like, okay, can I get out of here now? She was like, oh, well, it's not that simple. And because at first he goes, well, can you get me? He goes like, you got to be the worst mother in the world. She says, no, I'm a wonderful mother, but I don't take too kindly to you not doing what I say. And he goes, can you please just get me out of here, Mom? She's like, I don't know. Are you going to be the man, the husband, the father that you need to be in all this? And he was like, yes, I will. She was like, so you'll never see that little girl again? He's like, no. She goes, okay. And he goes, can you get me out? She goes, well, it's not that simple. And Jeffrey, I don't know what is really, I don't get that. I mean, I've never been in jail before, y'all. So I don't know what I would do or say to try and get up out of there. But I just feel like if I'm locked up and I know this person is not getting me out, and if she does get me out, again, I'm going to have to, Jeffrey's still going to be gay when he get out of there. That's what she does. She don't want him to be gay no more. And he's agreeing to pretty much not be, come on, Jeffrey. For real. So, I mean, I just feel like he should be talking cash money stuff to her because I'm already locked up. So what you gonna do? The only person I would really be trusting him right about now is my dad. Because I would say, because Justin wants him out, but Justin has his ulterior motives with wanting Jeffrey out. So the only person he really has to trust is David. And David is up there laying up with the next one. So you know what I'm saying? But so he begging Veronica to get him out. And she was like, well, I love you, son. She goes, Jeffrey, look at me. Don't you love me? He goes, yes, mom, I love you. She was like, okay, in the meantime, I'll see what I could do. But for now, this is the best place for you to be. Bye. And she left. As she's coming out, who walks by but Justin? And she says, hey, girl. And he turns and stops and she goes, well, I see you know your name. He said, do you know what yours is? She goes, no, what's that? He goes, witch. But it was the B word, y'all. So she was like, oh, that's so original. I've never been called that before. And he was like, well, it suits you quite well. She was like, yes. I mean, sometimes I actually really like it. And he was like, well, I'm sure you would. So I'm going to speed this up because it was just shade. So she was like, no, well, she said, oh, well, how are you doing? Well, you know, I heard the tape is running around because she goes, do you still work here? He's like, yeah, I do, actually. Like, why do you ask? And, you know, he's playing off that because he knows that that's her attitude to be, like, super smug and, like, oh, yeah. So he was like, yeah, actually, I do still work here. Like, why do you want to know? And then she was like, well, I heard there's a videotape running kind of wild right now. And he goes, I heard that you were in an accident. Like, how are you doing? And he was like, so this was kind of good because I don't really see Justin really standing a chance with her as far as, you know, mouth, like, just talking cash money stuff. But he held his own. He was good. And so he was like, I heard you in an accident. Like, how are you doing? She goes, I'm fine. But I heard your videos on the internet. Are you okay? And he goes, yeah, I'm actually pretty good. But what happened? She goes, I lost control of my car. He goes, really? Are you sure something didn't make you lose control of the car? And because remember, we know it was Justin that ran her off the road. So she goes, why do you ask? He's like, oh, I was just wondering. She's like, I think you're trying to imply that it was you. He goes, well, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. I just wanted to know what was going on. And she goes, you know what? Part of me thinks that you did it, but the woman in me thinks you're too much of a little witch to do that. She was like, the idea that a mere princess would come for the queen. She said, soon, she's talking about Jeffrey and him, you two princesses will notice who the real queen is. And she goes, it's not you. And then he's like, well, she goes, then how's your wife doing? And he's just, you know, ha, because he knows, like, obviously his wife's not doing well. He goes, well, how's your husband? She goes, well, he's fine. He goes, well, I'm sure he is, since he's traded in his grandma for this nice, young, beautiful woman, talking about Erica. By the way, do y'all think Erica is pregnant? Because people are saying that she is. I don't know, because I've been checking out Priscilla's, like, Instagram and stuff. I haven't checked it recently, so I don't know. Because Tika hid her pregnancy to what? She was like 6 or 7 months. So I don't know. But anyway. I just lost it, y'all. I looked like I was going to sleep, didn't I? Oh yeah. And Veronica was like, okay, girlfriend, like, one for you. And he goes, oh yeah, you see, when me and Jeffrey are having our little pillow talk, he tells me everything because we're together. And then Veronica got real quiet because she don't like when people say Jeffrey gay. That'll just break her face right now. So he was like, oh, you're quiet now, huh? He was like, oh yeah, actually, when he gets out, we're actually going to be moving in together. I don't know if he really believes that, because remember, he did say that he was looking for an apartment for him and Jeffrey. Jeffrey, run for the hills. But he was like, did you get us a housewarming gift yet? And then she was like, that will never happen because Jeffrey is never getting out. She goes, do you want to bet on that? And he goes, no, yeah. She goes, unless you know something that I don't know. And he's like, I dang sure do. And she was like, I can't wait to see it. And he walks away. So he got her. He got her on this one. I have to give point one to Justin, aside from actually running her off the road. So now let's switch over to Benny. Benny gets to Veronica's house. Remember, he thinks the text is from Veronica because Melissa texted him from Veronica's phone. So he comes over there. He's like, is Veronica here? She goes, no, she's not here. And he's like, well, maybe I should go. She's like, no, you could just wait for her here. He's like, I mean, if she's not here, I'm not really going to wait. And he was like, I don't even understand. Why would she text me if she's not even going to be here? She was like, okay, I sent you the text. And he goes, why? Which, mind you, I skipped it, but the lead up to it was, she was all over him talking about, oh, I'll make you this, and I'll make you that, and come on, let's finish what we started. And he's like, I don't think that's a good idea, and blah, blah, blah. So she's like, okay, I texted you, and he goes, why? Acting stupid. And she's like, so we could finish and all this stuff. And she was like, that was, what I needed. I gotten it in a long time, blah, blah, blah. And so she's all up on him. He's like, this is not a good idea. We shouldn't do this. And just, he's a limp, wet noodle. So just, he's going to try and act like he has no self-control. That's what he's going to, that was it. So, I guess it ended up happening. I fast forwarded. So, let's switch on over to Candace. Now, remember last season, Candace had got Oscar up there to the room, told Rocky to snap pictures of his laptop, get this, all the stuff. So, he snapped the picture, sent them to Candace. But, remember, Candace got Oscar to come upstairs because she needed his laptop. So, they, I guess, did what they did. They finished up, and she's like, he goes, whoo! And she goes, oh, you forgot. And he was like, well, you made me remember. She's like, it's good to remember. Slips something in his drink and, shakes it up. So he comes over there. He's still trying to convince her to marry Charles, become the first lady. You can get you, after that, after you got an office, you're going to write some books. You're going to go to Hollywood. You're going to get you a picture in the Hall of Fame. You're going to get you a star on the Walk of Stars. You're going to get everything. She goes, you really think so? And he's like, yeah. She goes, well, what if I don't want to wait that long to get some money? And he was like, come on, Candace, I keep telling you that get rich quick stuff that you do does not work. You got to be in it for the long game. You can't get millions just like that. She goes, well, I had it before. He was like, are we still on this? I told you that money's gone. You're not getting it back. I don't know why. Like, was he really that stupid to think that Candace was still, like, did you think that she really was just going to sleep with you and just not have no feelings at all about the $4 million that you took? I mean, she took, I wasn't really upset. I just don't like Oscar because you did play her and she's a sister, so I'm with her by default. But you did steal Jim's money. I mean, it wasn't your money, but I ain't mad at her. So you did take the money from her and give it, so I'm over him. Did you really think she was getting over that, Oscar? Or were you just that desperate to lay up with Candace? Which one was it? Because you can't be this dumb. You're supposed to be technically pretty smart because you're in asset recovery. So you come up with tricks and schemes all the time. Come on. You know Candace is the tricks and scheme queen. So I don't even know why you even came up to the room and then you had your laptop with you. Anyway, so he's like, he goes, you can't get money like that, Candace. She goes, I think I can. He goes, why? What are you up to? And he goes, I'm sorry, I'm feeling kind of... She goes, are you okay? And he's like, I'm just feeling kind of lightheaded. What? And she goes, really? Did you put something in my drink? Mm-hmm. Candace does that thing like, yeah. And he's like, Candace, no, come on. And he's trying to fight. She's like, go to sleep. You'll be up by 12 p.m. tomorrow. You're fine. He's like, no, Candace, come on. She was like, huh, baby? And then he's out like a light. She goes, Oscar... He's out. Just collapsed on the bed. She goes over to the computer and is like, okay, got her phone, because he sent her the stuff. Rocky sent her the stuff. Typing on the computer, okay, make some changes to the crier company. Blah, 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 bam. Closes up the laptop. She's smiling, so I don't know what's happened, but maybe she calls downstairs to Rocky, like, yo, I got a plan. He said, well, what's up? She was like, listen, just watch my girl, because talking about Gia, because if I play this right, we'll never have to run no game ever again. And he's like, okay, I'm listening. She was like, he was like, but my shift ends very, very soon, so RK will be here. She goes, RK, that kid? He was like, he's not a kid, I'm teaching him the ropes. She said, okay, Rocky, but he better be able to get me what I need. He goes, he will. She goes, all right, I'll call you later, and hangs up the phone. Now, this is surprising to me. Remember last time Candace tried to share money with somebody? She duped him out of a whole bunch of it, and that was Warlock. So, I don't know. I'm surprised that she even told Rocky about any money, because he was kind of just snapping pictures like, of course he was going to ask her what are the pictures for, but Candace usually would have made something up, so I don't know. Maybe she really does have the means to share the money with him, but I'm guessing RK is Roderick, the dude who's trying to run game on Catherine. But, more interestingly, on the preview, y'all, spoiler alert, 5, 4, 3, 2. On the preview, it looks like Rocky comes up to the room and Candace is hitting the mess out of him with a pole or something. So, I don't know what's going on there. Okay, now, let's go back over to Benny. Veronica comes home. And Benny and Melissa are on the couch. Melissa jumps off of Benny And she's laughing it up. Benny is like, and hey, Veronica. She said, hey, is that what you're gonna say to me? He's like, yeah. She goes, well, he was like, listen, she was like, oh, I know what you were doing. What are you doing in my house? He was like, look, she's a woman, I'm a man. She was putting it out there. I said, Benny, are you really serious? So you don't have any self-control whatsoever. So anyway, she was like, get out of my house. So he's putting his clothes on and stuff, and Melissa's laughing. She said, why are you laughing? What's funny? And she goes, oh, stop it, Veronica. He doesn't want your old ASS. And she goes, no. And she looked really hurt, too. She actually looked at him, like, made eye contact. And was like, he wants your dumb ASS. If I'm getting a cold, y'all, it's springtime. So she goes, no, he wants your dumb ASS. Melissa goes, dumb? She goes, yes, dumb. You allowed me and your mother to manipulate you. You are a stupid fool of a girl. And you want to be a little girl in a grown woman's game? I'll teach you how to play. And so she's about to walk away. Melissa said, yank, and grabbed Veronica by that ponytail and swimming her around. And they fighting. Benny runs over to break it up. So, and I'm mad because it cut off. Like, we don't see the rest of the fight till next week. Anyway, so then, this is the final scene, y'all. We switch over to Jim and Catherine. So remember, Jim and Catherine were at Wyatt's house because they want to talk to him about, all the DA stuff and him testifying and all that. So they're at his house. So Catherine they're just waiting for him at his apartment because he's not, remember, he's out getting drugs. So he's not there. So, Catherine is like, I cannot believe, Jim was like, can you believe that he would do this? Like, talking about, like, can you believe he paid $3 million for a place that's only worth $700,000? And she goes, yes, I can, actually. He's like, come on, no, you can't. She's like, yes, I can. And he was like, don't tell me you would do this. She goes, no, but he is his father's son. He was like, Catherine, I would never do anything this stupid. She was like I said, he's his father's son. And Jim said, are you suggesting that I'm not his father? She goes, I'm suggesting that you're not a lot of things. She was like, it's not too much brains on your side of the family. And he goes, you know what, Catherine, what would you do without me? She was like, well, I would have me a little Latin lover. And Jim is laughing it up. And she was like, are you serious? Do you really want me to answer that? She was like, the real question is, what would you do without me? He was like, well, I'll tell you one thing. I would have a woman on my arm, and she would have one huge. And then Catherine was like, say it, and I'll slap the mess out of you. But she said SHIT. They were using SHIT too much in this episode, and I was over it. So, they saying what I could do without you, what you can. And then so she sits down. She's like, you know what? I don't even think he's coming. Maybe I should call him because we've been here forever. Like, how long do we need to wait? He's like, no, don't call him because then he'll get spooked. And then it already took us $2,000 to get the manager to open this door. And he told us to swear on our lives that it was open. So, because, he can get in trouble for letting people into his apartment. So he was like, it's liable to cost us another $2,000 if we get locked out and need him again. So she was like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? Just sit here? He's like, yes, Catherine, we're just supposed to sit here. So she gets into talking about the DA, and she was like, Jim, I can't go to jail. He's like, Catherine, I have a plan. Don't worry about George. Don't worry about him. She was like, well, is it gonna work? He was like, yes, Catherine, it's going to work, okay? Just don't worry about George. I have a plan. She's like, okay, I can't go to jail, Jim. She was like, am I gonna get off? He was like, I don't know. Why don't you ask your Latin lover? She was like, I'm talking about jail, Jim. And then Wyatt comes in. And Wyatt is like, what the heck are you guys doing here? And I'm sorry, I think like there's a piece of my hair is like hanging down from my face or something. Yep, piece of hair, y'all. I cannot stand that. You know how you just you're like, something is on my face and then, anyway. So, Wyatt comes in. He said, what are you guys doing here? Leave. He was like, son, we need to talk to you. Catherine goes, we need to talk to you. Wyatt, he's like, no, get out of my place now or I'm calling the cops. So he gets his phone out and he's trying to call. And Jim goes, you're not calling the cops. He was like, stop it, Wyatt. You're going to listen. So then he starts digging through because he realized Wyatt is acting kind of funny. So he digs in his jacket pocket and is like, what is it? What the heck is this? And he throws the phone and he's like, you're doing this crap again? Really? He's like, hey, give that back. Jim takes it. He's like, you know what? No. Takes the cocaine, gets a knife, and like tries to cut the bag open so he could dump it down the drain and like wash it out. And Wyatt is freaking out. He's like, no, I need that. What are you doing? He's like, I'm clean, Dad. I'm going to be clean forever. Like mocking Wyatt because he told Jim that he was going to stay clean. So Wyatt is like, no, stop, I need that. And they're wrestling over this, and Jim's already at the sink trying to like empty the stuff out. Catherine comes up on the back of Wyatt and is like, Wyatt, stop. So I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking is going to happen? What usually happens when somebody's dumb enough to come up on the back of somebody in a fight, you elbow them without even looking. No, Wyatt turns around and says, bam! And Catherine slid across the floor, everybody. It was crazy. Jim goes, what? He pushes Wyatt. He goes, you don't hit your mother, and gets her up. Turns around. Wyatt grabs a bottle and says, clack. And Jim is on the floor. Next thing you know, he goes over, grabs us like a sculpture. And and then that's where it cut off. And next week on the Haves and the Have-Nots. A feather here, y'all. So, it's like, did Wyatt already open up some of the merchandise and use a little bit of it before the fact? Because this is crazy. And then you got Catherine like, Wyatt! You know, because he's sweating and stuff. I think he might be under the influence, y'all. Or just under the influence of being almost under the influence. Do you feel what I'm saying? Okay, so this was a great way to kick off the season. I'm really excited about what's to come. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode. I thought it was a really good way to kick off the season. Also, let me know if I missed anything, because I do feel like I flew through kind of quickly, which is always good though, you guys. So I'm gonna cut it off right here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. It is a one and only your girl J to J. Peace.